Hey y'all, and welcome to something a little bit different. Recently on this channel, we've been covering Scarcadia's Nightmare difficulty mod for Persona 4 Golden, and any of you who have played Disgaea know that the games aren't exactly difficult by default, nor is the game well known to be tailored for Let's Plays, hence there not being a lot of them on YouTube that actually have many views. You find more guides and super boss attempts without commentary than anything. It's not that the game is boring, far from it in my opinion, but most of the enjoyment is gotten from experimenting, tinkering, and grinding, simply watching the numbers get bigger. Not exactly something tailored towards a video format. That got me thinking that maybe my video format would suit it perfectly, and so here we are. Anyone who is familiar with Disgaea knows that when breaking the game down into phases, there are two, arguably three. The main game, which is just the story, and the post-game, which is where the game really begins. The arguable third phase of the game is post-game prep, but that could easily be integrated into the main game experience. I plan to cover the entirety of the main game, and if there is interest in seeing it, I will also do videos on the post-game, although what those entail, I couldn't exactly tell you at the moment. As I said earlier, Disgaea games aren't known for being very difficult, unless you make them that way yourself. So how about we discuss the rules that I'll be restricting myself with? Number 1, the Fire Emblem Experience. All units are only allowed one death per run. Once they're defeated once, they cannot be used again. Number 2, Temperature Rising. The difficulty must increase by 1 star each chapter, and the difficulty must be maxed before fighting the final boss. Number 3, One at a Time. We're only allowed to create 1 new unit per chapter, and we are allowed to bank new recruits, meaning that we can hold off on making a new unit until we unlock a class that we want. Number 4, Unique Units. We're only allowed to have 1 of each class. Pretty self-explanatory. Number 5, Nicknames. Each nameable unit has to have a unique name to invoke more attachment in the player. Number 6, no DLC. We're not allowed to use DLC characters until we reach the post-game, and we're not allowed access to DLC items or money at all. The bonus mana from the demo doesn't count because, I said so, and I don't really feel like re-recording the video because I made the poor decision to cement the rules afterwards. Number 7, One Shot. Each map is only allowed to be cleared once until we reach the post-game. Number 8, Locked In. We're not allowed to leave a mission once it's been selected. Number 9, One-Time Use. We're only allowed to use the item world once per chapter. A lot, I know, but I feel these restrictions are more than fair. I'm not really the type of guy who likes to waste my time, so now that all the formalities are out of the way, let's get into the video. New God of Destruction. Mass Destruction. Kill tons of people, but
this god of destruction has already been defeated.
Ooh, okay. We're then quickly introduced to our protagonist and mascot characters. Then after a little of what I really do wish I could call witty dialogue, we get into our first fight of the game. I can even call it that. Zed and Cerberus were surrounded by extraordinarily powerful guards, estimated magic level 999. Dog shit. Don't you know that the maximum level in this game is 99,999? Fucking losers. Now Zed, has that rotten brain of yours forgotten how to fight, or do you still remember your roots? Of course I've forgotten. The fuck do I look like? Who the hell you think I am, you dumb mutt? No one forgets things faster than me. Alright, you got me. That one was pretty good. Onwards with the tutorial. He took like 10 seconds. 10 seconds to execute an attack. None of that was exaggerated, by the way. That was actually how long it took. Actually, that was all a ruse. You were never fighting in the first place. As you'd imagine, the first fight is nigh unlosable. I'll punch you in the throat. It sounded so lame. And so the way to the Darkest Assembly is now clear. The Dark Assembly, for those of you who are unfamiliar, is a reoccurring feature in the Disgaea series that essentially acts as a senate. You go through the assembly in order to pass bills that change different aspects of the game, but you're allowed to pay, bribe, cheat, and fight to get what you want. So yeah, I assume the Darkest Assembly just rates above them. And Cerberus gives us a little insight on the fact that just like any good shonen protagonist, Zed goes through a fair amount of character progression over the course of the game. That's a real good sign, people. A real good sign. Following a little more back and forth between the two, we're introduced to Overlord Ivar.
A worthless zombie defeated the god of destruction?
This nobody just defeated your level 999 guards. How do you explain that?
How do you explain that, buddy? Just another Overlord whose strength is completely unproportionate to his brains. All of you Disgaea veterans know exactly what I mean.
Should it become evident that your claim of defeating the god of destruction is a lie, you will immediately be put to death.
Hey, listen here, buddy. Alright. And his role in the main game quickly gets slated as Zed's audience as he begins narrating his story of how he defeated the god of destruction. The dramaturgy of reincarnation.
Episode 1. The dramaturgy of reincarnation.
Oh, my bad. And to save us the pain of some of his, let's say, less than savory defeats, Zed begins his story towards the 80 or 90% mark, bringing us to his arrival in the Prinny world.
You're finally up, lucky you. I was about to take a leak on your face. No, scratch that, I feel a dump coming on.
That was the fucking... For about 5 seconds before we get transported to Cerberus' fourth dimensional netherworld. The Nice America, man. Explain it in its entirety over time, but for now I'll just unlock the general store to start. That's all you're saying to me, bud. After that, I begin to explore the menus a little bit, taking note how similar it is to Disgaea 5's.
Excuse me?
Oh my god. Then I see this. What? What the fuck? You can't just fucking... Oh my god. Yeah, this clergy is my new favorite Disgaea character. Mother's mistake, you'll be with me to the end. Then I do what any sane Disgaea player would do and increase the difficulty by 1 star. So, after equipping my team with some armor and weapon upgrades, we were off to the Prinny world in order to tackle the first map, using the super reincarnation process. By linking with the super reincarnation process, it can send you across space and time to whatever location you wish. I don't know how that works, but I'm just gonna roll with it, because they're not gonna explain it. Since Zed is an edgy anti-hero, it should be obvious that he doesn't respond to the Prinny's cry for help on our arrival.
I don't give a crap about your problems.
Yeah, what do you think? We're the protagonist? But, yeah, that's irrelevant really, because we end up doing exactly what the clown wanted us to do in the first place and sweep up some violent demons from the God of Destruction riots.
Everyone who tries to stand in my way is gonna get beaten to a pulp.
Why does he always say it the same way? Like in the trailer, fucking here, literally 2 seconds ago. The first real map acts as an introduction to the game's simpler systems, like having fucking teammates. In our case, we have a fighter named Logan, a clergy named Mother's Mistake, and the witch Angelina. But rather than allowing Zed and his team to get right to the ass beating, I decided to drag them into yet another tutorial. Guys, I swear I've played these games before. The early fights are fairly simple, so unfortunately there's not going to be much for me to comment on until the more mid-game maps. Well, maybe a little earlier given all of the restrictions I've given myself. There's really not much to say during these early fights. They're kind of just like pretty straightforward. They're kind of just move your units, you know, in a way where the fucking guys on the field, you know, target one of them at a time, and then you just blast through them, and then just kind of go with it. So you get like a little bit more OP, and then you can kind of just blast through maps however you want. Yeah, and just like I said, that fight was ridiculously easy. The next map wouldn't be much different from the last, being fairly insignificant in terms of content and difficulty, not even containing a story-related cutscene. Level 30? What? How am I level 30 after the second fight? Well, until the fight is over, that is. But, yeah, once again, it's just Zed reiterating his pre-prologue bloodlust, so I mean, can we really count that as content?
According to the Running Mutt, he was kind-hearted before his first, 1 million encounters with the God of Destruction.
Following that fight, I pass a bill in the Dark Assembly in order to get better items in the shop, increase the difficulty to 2 stars, and stock up with some of the new equipment I just unlocked. 285? Hell. Let's go. We're gonna buy the whole fucking shop out, baby. Anyways, let's get into the next map. This game's Geopanel and Geosymbol tutorial. For those who don't know, geo panels are glowing panels on the floor that can take effects of geo symbols. A wide variety of effects can occur on the panels given the placement of the symbols is right. And if you string together color changes using the panels and symbols, you get a significant boost to your bonus meter. So yeah, if I didn't make it obvious yet, that's my approach to this map. Just get in and get out with an easily maxed bonus gauge and a one-time reward. That did no damage. Just kidding. Did a lot of damage. After that, the remainder of the map is a cakewalk, given that the few enemies that remain are now at half health or less. After completing the map, that ass-kissing Prinny that we met on the first one finally decides to weasel his way into our ranks. I mean, what can we really do about it? Following that hot mess, I spend just a little too much time in the skill shop in Dark Assembly preparing for our impending final battle with the God of Destruction.
Here we go! The final battle!
You know, somehow I find that hard to believe considering there's a lot more of this game. Been playing for like an hour, if that. I didn't have a lot of confidence since I knew that the encounters with the God of Destruction were designed to be fairly difficult, but I made it this far, so I just sucked it up. The basic strategy going in was pretty simple given that I don't have many options yet. Bait him out while keeping my squishier units in the back, and then wail on him while praying that he'll continue to target the tankier characters until he dies. Excuse me, sir? Bring the fight over here, pussy boy. Yeah, there were a lot of flaws. Logan died first, then Zed, then Mother's Mistake. Oh, and then Angelina. The only one left was the rookie. Our hero. The one and only Jed. Don't let us down, buddy. You're our only... Oh. He's dead. Well, this is awkward. Damn it! That would have been so clean. No! Well, I expected this, so really, I'm not too mad. Well, time to run it all the way back from the beginning. I tackle things nearly identically the second time, with the only differences being that I never increased the difficulty, set the experience bonus in the cheat shop to 150%, I kit Zed out with fist weapons, and before the third map I go to the Dark Assembly in order to pass a bill allowing me to funnel all of the XP from that fight to him, setting him above the rest of the team at level 79. Oh, and I bought Zed the ability Power Knuckle, increasing damage dealt when using fists by 30%, and started up the fourth map once again. Also, note that I only said I bought Zed's ability, I forgot that they don't auto-equip. So yeah, that doesn't really help with the God of Destruction fight. Oh yeah, did I forget to mention that I accidentally wasted like 200 mana on the auto battle mechanic too? I literally can't ever see myself using that because of all of the restrictions I put on myself. Oh, how fun. Oh, why didn't I just reset the game, you ask, and get my mana refunded? Who are you to question my decisions? Because I have no idea why I didn't do that, but that definitely would have been smart. Anyways, let's get into this fight for real. My strategy for this fight is, at its heart, the same. The only differences being that rather than relying on the team as a whole to do damage, the combo chain is simply going to be put in place each turn in order to put a bigger multiplier on Zed's attack. But the more important part of the plan actually lets my units survive more than 2 hits, and that's buffing my 3 frontliners using my new Clergy Inverted Pencil's Sanctuary skill. It just reduces damage, nothing crazy. The fight starts off with a counter-off between Zed and the God of Destruction, which frankly scared the absolute shit out of me. Oh my god. Don't get yourself bodied off rip, bro. However, our damage output when we were put on the offensive left me shocked, as we brought him to near death on our very first turn. Alright, that wasn't bad actually. I think we actually might win this. My only worry now was surviving his, and we were in the clear. Well, that's that. Time to finish this fucker off. And with his demise comes a whole hell of a lot of experience. We're talking like 25,000 funneled into our clergy alone. The God of Destruction growls at us, attempts to kill the Prinny, and being a pseudo-shonen protagonist, Zed jumps right in front of the attack, dying in the process. In turn, starting the super reincarnation process all over again. Well, after giving a little insight as to why it is that he is so hellbent on defeating the God of Destruction in the first place, ultimately giving us a better understanding of him as a character and our protagonist. Get the fuck out of here, you game over head ass. Suck my nuts, dude. Well, back to the present. Yeah, needless to say, Ivor wasn't exactly thrilled.
Wait a minute, you lost?
Yeah.
Only you would have such a sharp eye for detail, Overlord Ivar.
Only you could actually listen to the story and get what actually happened out of what actually happened. And so we engage in some more worthless banter, with the poor fool waiting for him to realize that we told him a story in which we died, but yet are standing right in front of him.
You didn't even defeat the God of Destruction! You wretched liar!
We're only in chapter 1 at like 25, buddy. Sit down, relax, get comfortable, get a fucking snack. Ivar's angry.
You're a ghost, aren't you? The big old evil spirit! Rest in peace! Rest in peace!
And a bitch. Anyways, roll the end of episode skit, and let's get into episode 2 already. Upon reincarnating, this time Cerberus doesn't threaten to crap on her face, but instead we are greeted by King Misador, the ruler of the human world. Talk about a bigwig, am I right? I mean, what type of person does it take to rule over all of humanity? Misador, classification king, the filthy rich king of the human world. Money makes the world go round. Yeah, that sounds about right. Anyways, let's get back to the FDNW. Yeah, that is the new acronym I'm giving the base. You like it? Because even if you don't, I'm keeping it. For our first order of business, let's up the difficulty to 1 star. I would have and wanted to make a new unit now that I was able to, given that we were in chapter 2, but the classes available for me at the moment were, let's just say lackluster. Well, on to the first map, I guess. And how better to start than making fun of the stereotypical JRPG?
Now, take this stick and $500 and set off on your journey to save the world!
The entire cutscene just consists of Misador trying to bribe Zed into fighting his battles for him with obscene amounts of money. Although Zed doesn't bite, which is honestly surprising given his similarities to Laharl. Like, if Laharl heard he could make big money by doing exactly what it was he set out to do in the first place, yeah, he'd definitely be down. But anyways, yeah, after arguing for the entirety of the cutscene in order to prove the power of money, Misador summons a group of cronies that we have to bash through in order to proceed. And as if it surprises any of you at this point, this map is ridiculously easy, having only 5 enemies with easy choke points, so we won't even have to fight all 5 at once. And so we plowed through it without any real strategy like all of the rest of the stages, and to make matters worse, now we have Misador kissing our fucking ass.
I ask that you please allow me to join you as a comrade.
Oh, good God, we don't need somebody like you. Which, after a little convincing from Cerberus, doesn't take Zed much to give into.
You'll accept me as a comrade, then?
If you say comrade like that one more time, I'm gonna beat your ass. Yeah, having a walking wallet definitely would be beneficial if we actually got to use any of that money in the shop in the goddamn FDNW.
I managed to become his companion
For a mere $100 million?
That's pocket change.
I'm going down. That's pocket change. Oh yeah, in that armor too? Dog shit! After the first map of episode 2, we unlocked the quest board, which already contains an unfathomable amount posted on it, might I add. Yeah, kinda overwhelming really. Well, anyway, I accepted a few stat and class quests before heading to the next map, after watching a skit between Zed and Misador, that is.
At long last, I too have become a hero's comrade. Never would I have. Oh, I'm.
I can't do it. Well, attempting to, I guess.
Now, let us proceed together.
Can we take away this man's E privileges? Just because a map leads with a cutscene doesn't mean it has much significance.
We're comrades.
Can we just take away his speaking privileges, actually? Yeah, this is our first large map. Not that it means anything when it has next to no enemies that have almost no threat on their own. However, even in saying that, this map is the first one that I actually have a genuine scare in when I make a mistake of sending Misador on a path separate from the rest of the team in order to break open a chest. I can't really say with much certainty that he's actually worth anything at this point though. Regardless, I throw Zed as close as I can to direct some attention away from the king. Hey, it's not his fault he's dog shit. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, it's that easy. Every single time. I totally didn't almost die. Oh. There's another. Yeah, I knew that. Hey, you really can't blame me, can you? Do you see how well Niece tucked away that thief? Oh my god. Don't do that to my little heart. Come to find out that the attack on our wallet was premeditated. Ever since we came into our royal inheritance, there has been someone following us around through the human world. And yeah, the culprit is the little shit of a hero that Misador used to associate himself with. When we arrive back in the FDNW, I play around with the juice bar, a new mechanic that seems like it allows you to bank experience and mana in order to raise stats, class proficiency, and weapon mastery. To all of you Disgaea veterans, I bet that sounds delicious. In the next map, we're finally introduced to this very hero that the king has spoken of. Excuse me, I misspoke. The self-sequestered domicile defender, Yarmada. I don't know, man, I didn't write the game script, just this one. Surprise, surprise, Yarmada was behind our recent attack, all because... yo, get this. He plans on mooching off His Majesty's lap of luxury for the rest of his life. Those are his words, not mine. Just imagine being proud of being a fucking parasite. After Yarmada announces his grandiose plan, Zed threatens anyone who stands for what must at least be the 20th time since I hit record in OBS, and the battle begins. And as if the maps couldn't get any easier, this map is literally just Yarmada and some fucking geo panels. Bruh, when am I gonna be able to provide my viewers with some content? Nippon Ichi Software, work with me here. Like, for fuck's sake, Yarmada was barely even allowed to move before he got his ass slapped 3 ways from my local GameStop to the McDonald's I got my lunch from this afternoon.
Is this all you've got, hero? You're nothing special.
Literally, you got decimated. You got one-tapped. Even Zed understood how incredibly weak this clown was because he literally turned him into XP fodder once this fight was over and realized that Yarmada gets involuntarily reincarnated by Misador's existence every time he dies. Really quick, before we get into anything else, can we talk about how hard the squad shop music slaps? But anyways, after a lot of uncertainty and visits to many different menus, let's get into this episode's finale. And hopefully we won't have to reset again. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time! It's time for the clash of the anti-hero and XP fodder / self-sequestered domicile defender. Wait, didn't we see this already? Well, and the goonies that Yarmada has to pay because he isn't cool enough to have his own army of mindless idiots.
And you're saying that this is your true power?
His true power is hiring other people to do his dirty work for him. I guess that's if you want to consider a zombie in a hoodie, a rotten dog, a 2-bit Zorro, pigtail jailbait, a money grubber with a speech impediment, the girl next door, and a literal fucking demon penguin in army. But I digress. Anyways, let's get into the meat and potatoes, the actual fight. Well, again, if you could even call this one-sided slaughter a fight. But as I've said, that will change in due time. As soon as that difficulty meter picks up along with the chapter numbers, the maps will become exponentially harder. The staggering of ally boosting and enemy weakening geo panels was a little jarring and annoying to take advantage of properly, but when they worked, they fucking worked. After I was over the bridge, I surrounded the last 3 units with my militia, while 2 of the units stayed back to secure a geo combo. And just like that, I finished off Yarmada's ass beating with a series of counters once again in the process. I mean, I wish I could say finished off, but Yarmada's revival ability from the cutscene, yeah, he's got that in this fight, even though fighting him is easier than getting into the ring with a little fucking paper bag. So what I'm getting at is that Yarmada is the equivalent of a paper bag from Mario game. Just as useless, but with extra lives, so it's extra annoying. And so Yarmada is defeated. Wow, I guess Misador has been going through a bit of a crisis of his own. Maybe he isn't as shallow of a character as I originally believed. You know who is, though? The so-called hero. Our local SSDD, if you will.
No! I don't want to be a hero anymore! I just want my allowance! Please! Pretty please!
Well, that's episode 2 completed as well, and with it the video. I know a bit shorter than what I've been putting out recently, if you can even fucking call it that, but that's what happens when you only have the demo to work with. Anyways, y'all, I hope you enjoyed and I'll see you in the next one. That was such a bad line. What the fuck?